In this video, let's have a look at the configuration of employee payslip. We can find this option under Human Resource module. By going for administration, let's go for Human Resource module and let's begin with the HR settings before we go for payroll and payslip management. Under the HR settings, we have the working day setting.
Under working day setting, you're going to enter the value for the number of working days in your institution. Before which you need to understand what kind of payslip pattern do you follow. Is it a monthly, is it weekly, or is it bi-weekly, or is it semi-monthly? You need to choose one of these pattern, of course, and you're going to enter the number of days. Let's just an example, the number of working days in a month can be 30, it can be 25, it can be 29. So based on how you consider, you are going to enter the number here. Let's say you consider the payslip to be generated on a weekly basis, then you need to enter the number of days that you consider as the number of working days. And the same applies for bi-weekly and semi-monthly. So once you enter these options here, the number of days will be considered for taking loss of pay.
Moving back to the HR module, let's go about with the payroll and payslip management.
Let's begin with the payroll category. So under payroll category, we are going to create those categories that is there in the institution. Here you can see the ones that I have created for an example. When you start using Fedena, it's going to be completely empty and you will have to create these. So to create a new one, I've gone for the option create payroll category, and while creating this, you can see I've given the name as basic pay and I've given a category code. The category type is earning and I've selected a value type to be formula. So let me just show you an example. Let me go back and show you an example. So here I have given the name to be, let's say, RA. And I'm giving a category code as HRA, and the HRA is going to be an earning for the employee. So I'm making as an earning, and for the category value, the value type is going to be either numeric, formula, or conditions with formula. I can choose any of this. If I'm going to make it numeric, that means I'm going to enter the value for the employees right here. If there is one particular value that's going to be common for all employees, I can go and write it here. Rather, I can choose formula where this is going to depend on another factor and it's going to differ for each employee. So what is it going to depend upon is the next question. So let's make it as gross pay. So what I have given here on the basic pay is that I've given 50% of my gross pay is my basic pay. For an HRA allowance, let's say I'm making 20% of my gross pay as my HRA allowance. This way around, I'm creating various categories, which is going to be a part of my earning. And I need to make sure that the sum of all the earnings that I'm going to get should not be greater than the gross pay, for which the percentage value that I'm giving should not be more than 100%. It can be less, or it can be exactly 100. So at the same way, I can create deductions. So while adding deductions, I can make it again dependable on another category, or I can give a numeric value as well. So these needs to be marked as deductions, and we can have these type of payroll categories listed here. So let's assume there are different type of payroll categories for different set of employees in your institution. So you're going to list all the different types here, irrespective of the group in which they're going to fall. Because in the next step under this setting, we are going to do is the grouping. So under payroll groups, we are going to group these categories into separate groups. Let's assume that you have a set of employees who have different payroll pattern or a different payroll category, whereas the other set of employees have a different payroll categories. So you will have to create a new group and you will have to assign these categories by going by add option and give a name for it, and you're going to say when is the payslip needs to be generated, and you can create the payroll group. Now by doing that, you're going to enable the LOP option as well. So if you want to make this LOP criteria available, you can enable this option. If you don't want to, you can disable the option and create it. Next thing that we have is the payslips for payroll groups. Here under payslip for payroll group, you can go for rejected payslips and have a look at any of those rejected payslips that is there in the institution, or you can come back and view the monthly payslips that is generated. So here you can see the 5 employees for whom the payslip is generated. You can go for generate payslip and you can give a salary date and you can go for proceed. So now you can view those two payslips which is generated and the two payslips which are not generated. So you can generate payslip for all of these 3 employees by going for create payslip. Now you've created payslip for all these employees and you can view their payslip. So here you can see the status pending, approved, pending, approved. So these are pending because the finance person has not approved the payslip, whereas this payslip is approved because the payslip is being approved by the finance person. Once the payslip is being approved, it cannot be deleted, whereas if the payslip is in a pending state, it can be deleted. So here to view the payslip, you can go for view payslip. You can delete the payslip from here. For approved payslip, you can view the payslip, but you cannot delete, where you can only take the PDF report. So moving back to the payslips for payroll groups, let's go to the payslip for payroll management, where we have the next option, that is payslip for employees. So here under payslip for employees, we are going to have a look at the payslip that is being generated on the basis of the department. So here under each department, we are going to have various employees, and for each employee, the status of the payslip are displayed here. The next thing that we have is the rejected payslip. So here we get to see the rejected employee payslip, and we have the payslip settings which can be assigned. So based on how you want, you can customize your own payslip. You can select the fields that you want to have and uncheck the fields that you don't want to have. And you can save the setting. You can also have a look at the sample payslip and you can save the settings. The payslip report shows the employee payslip report. On a time duration, you can see how many payslips were generated, how many were approved, and how many were rejected, how many is still pending. Of all that, you can also see the total salary, approved salary, and the total employees who fall under each of these categories. So you can take a PDF report and a CSV report of this.
That's all about configuration of employee payslip. Thanks for listening.